Great. So welcome to a quick start guide on using Warudo. Today I'm going to be taking you through how to load in your avatar, control the cameras, set up the motion capture for your avatar. All right, just as an FYI, when you first install Warudo, it's going to ask for elevated permissions on your computer. Just because it's going to be installing some virtual webcams. So I just want to give you a heads up. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. If you're wondering about how to save a scene, this little rocket will help you do that. You can save scenes, reload, and also open your data folder to access those files and other files there. But let's go ahead and load in that character. So by default, there are no characters loaded into this program. You can click on this Open Characters folder. It'll actually open a new window, and you can put your VRMs or special Warudo SDK avatars that you might have exported from Unity in here as well. So you can see I already have sample avatar sample A. I'm just going to close that window, and any avatar you have that's compatible will be located under sources. Great. So now we should see that character load in, and you can see I can now rotate my camera around it. I have an orbit camera, and the next step is going to be for all of you is going to be setting up your motion capture. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to go ahead and use Open CFace since I don't have iFacial mocap set up here. I'm going to pretend like I have ARKit, and I'm going to use my webcam. I'm going to use the regular USB device. For the pose tracking, I'm also going to use a webcam-based one called MediaPipe. This is Google's MediaPipe, where it uses AI tracking. I'm not going to have it track the keyboard or mouse. Again, we have to use the same USB camera. Now that I've loaded a MediaPipe, you can see I have a new window that popped up. This is actually the capture window for my webcam. So you can see now I can actually control the hand tracking of this avatar. So that was very fast and easy. If I want to bring in my expressions, I can go ahead and scroll down this list here. And I can hit import VRM expressions, and it'll import all the expressions into text. You can actually generate the key bindings, and it will take all those VRMs and it'll assign them. Right, so now if I hit like Alt-1, you can see that I have a happy expression trigger. Right, great. So now that you got the avatar in, that's awesome, but how do you get it into OBS? And how do you apply all those cool effects that we saw earlier? So let's go ahead and go into the camera. If you click on the camera icon here, it will switch to it. So optionally though, you can also create a new camera. So if I wanted to have a camera from here, click on this camera to activate it. And then this one is a free look camera, but I could also make it an orbit camera here. And then I can place it over here. And this camera, I can switch back and forth between the two. So quickly, you can create two cameras if you want to, and you can kind of switch back and forth by clicking on them there. Let's focus on this main camera here. Click on its settings. We're going to go ahead and just go down the list. But for us right now, what we want to do is, by default, this will say no. All these outputs, but you have Spout, which is like a right from your graphics card capture. Both Spout and NDI do require you to have a plugin for OBS. If you're streaming on your local PC to OBS, like your OBS is on your actual computer, I would use Spout because it's faster. It doesn't take as much like processor speed to render, and it supports transparency. We'll probably use Spout for this. NDI is great if you're working over the network though, if you have two computers and you're trying to send that video to OBS on your streaming PC. But for us, we're just going to use that Spout output, and you also have the virtual camera output. I mentioned that earlier. You can enable that there, and it should appear in Discord. And now that I have Spout pushing out, I can switch to my display capture in OBS. You can see here, and this is actually based off my screen size. So if I get this larger, I have a 4K display, so this window is a bit smaller, but you can manually adjust that window size to fit and crop it. All right, so that's basically how you get your camera set up. There's also all these cool effects on the side. I can turn on bloom, ambient occlusion, anamorphic flares, depth of field. That's where you get access to all these cool camera effects. But yeah, that's kind of an overview. I hope that was helpful. I'll see you next time.